with the missing funds, money donated by supporters for how many years now? The past 4 years. The last election, he put his account number out there. People donated. Even this one now, he started again now. They put allegation out there for him, talking about why he hasn't remitted those funds. He hasn't spoken anything about them. All he does is just go on social media and talk about Peter Obi again and again. So we want to ask, can he answer the questions they've been asking? People have been asking. I saw something posted on your page on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen the video there. Just check those things and ask him. I want him to answer to those questions. Right. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. I believe you heard the call there.
Yes, it's the fact is that I was the only candidate, and probably the first in the history of Nigeria, that remitted, that explained how I spent all the public donations I got. In 2019, I opened a GoFundMe account and opened a local bank account in Nigeria. And I was announcing on a daily basis. I used to have a show on Facebook every night. And I raised money, and the next I will announce. And when we're done, even though we're still within the 6 month, 1 year period of accounting, I put it out there. You can just Google it and stop, just being mischievous, honestly. You Google it, it's available in public. The Peter Obi is mentioning, Peter Obi, an article contested in 2019. Can you show me the accounting anywhere? If you can show me, I will be happy to invite you and hand you over the bank statements of all the monies I raised. So in 2023, we ensure that we're also raising money transparently. I have published on a monthly basis an accounting of breakdown of all the money I raised.
Where?
It's on today. I just put one on Twitter. You can go to my page, but they will see it. They will ignore it. They will ignore it, and then. But Peter Obi is also raising money. Have you seen an accounting of one single day or month? He's raising money the same way. In fact, I started crowdfunding. They borrow the idea, but they don't do what I do with my own crowdfunding, which is to explain, because this is the way to run as leaders. Transparency is key. Part of what is killing Nigeria is that our leaders hate to be transparent. And some of them are not transparent because they are afraid of criticism, of scrutiny of their transparency. And I don't belong in that category. As of today, go to my page on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm sure on Instagram. You will see an explanation of the latest monies I raised and how the expenditures were carried out. What else should I be doing beyond that? But your Peter Obi that you are mentioning, has he ever put out a single statement, one line of how much he has raised since he started his campaign and how much he's spending it? And I'm challenging you to get in touch with your members or your group and ask Peter Obi to do the same thing that I'm doing. And you'll be shocked that there's nobody on their side who is willing to explain what they are, because they have helicopters that they're flying around, they have private jets. They can't explain how they got it. It's special interest money. Special interest money is difficult to explain.
Let's go back to the film lines.
Yes.
Lagos talks.
All of the noise that Peter Obi has been getting, all the support and all of that. Don't you think it's better you, let's just say, collapse your structure and support this man? Because let's be realistic. With the way these things are going, I really don't see you standing a chance of winning the election. So it's just like a question. I just call to ask if there's any way you can collapse your structure and see how you can support this man. Thank you.
Interesting.
Every candidate in this election is a potential winner of the election.
Indeed.
And every supporter is also a potential prophet of a winner of the election. So you hear a lot of prophecies. In fact, there were people who prophesied that Argentina will lose the World Cup. After they won, they are still prophesying. They go back to church next time and said, well, if they had fielded one candidate, or if Argentina has collapsed the structure for Brazil, Brazil would have won. Does it make sense? Because they are in a competition. So I'm in competition against your candidate. You asked me to collapse my structure.
Good. Even if they don't understand it right now, in their subconscious, they are knowing. And I pray that the Lord will help you and help all of us. Thank you. God bless you, my brother. God bless you.
Happy New Year, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you for calling. You have a response to that?
Well, I do this already. I just don't, I don't like being hypocritical. I don't want to be a religious leader. Otherwise, I would have started a church instead of a political party. You get my point?
Yeah.
And it has become very well known that politicians are creative liars. You understand? That's why I don't want to be called a politician. I hate that nomenclature. So it's like somebody has seen the refugee camp for 4 years. It's known that the refugee camp has been there for 20 years. Never been there before. Election comes, you now go and fetishize being a refugee. Smile, and then you bring some. But that's not going to solve the problem. I went to refugee camps in 2019, and I promise I'm not going back there until we are able to liberate Nigerians to the point that there are no more refugees in the camp. I don't want to be going back to kind of celebrate their misery. The refugee camps also know what politicians are, but they know that every 4 years more rights will come, more attention will be paid to them through politicians. But the same politicians that went to refugee camps will still come and destroy other parts of the country that will create more refugees. Ask yourself, did Buhari not go to the Shiites in 2015? They went to CS Zakizaki. The moment they were comfortably ensconced in power, they massacred over 3,000 of them. Most of them are his voters. I know a guy who was on Facebook. The soldiers were shooting his direction, and he said, I'm a supporter of Buhari, but he's killing me tonight. The soldiers killed him, killed his only daughter and his wife. And they were his supporters. So if you don't have good intentions, it doesn't matter how long you pretend. I don't want to be a pretender. I don't want to pretend that churches are going to become my only constituents. Because I'm for the entire country. Those who go to church, mosque, and those who don't go anywhere, and those who go to other places. They are all citizens of Nigeria, and we should treat them equally. So if, for instance, I go to the church on Sunday and they clap for me and they pray for me and they put their hands and shake my brain until it shifts to one side in prayers, what am I going to do? What do you think the churches would think if I go to Kija Shrine? They say, this man is an idolater. He worships
everywhere.
Meanwhile, those guys in those shrines might are better than some pastors. I'm not criticizing religion, but I did it I went to a number of churches, but one of the issues I had in 2019, of course, which I revealed to this, a lot of the churches pastors had a problem with the fact that I refused to kneel down and put their hand on my head. And I asked one of them, can I put my hand on your head before your congregation? He said no. So why would you be putting your hand on my head? Is it that God doesn't understand you until you shake my head? But those things are not necessary. So I'm just saying, listen, there are good people out there, good pastors, bad pastors, good Muslims, bad Muslims, or Afars, or whatever they are. But the presidency of the country is not about those people. It's about everybody, including them.
With all those leadership qualities, you did create a political party, which is very interesting to see. But would you consider yourself a servant?
Servant?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like the sound of servant because it shows subservience. Well, a servant is someone who's under peonage, under the control of another person. I don't accept that as,
But if you're voted for, you would want to serve the people.
Yes, that's service, not as a servant.
Okay, of the people.
Yes, I will be a serviceman, not a servant to anybody.
Of the people.
Of
Servant
people.
of the people.
Yes, because you have to be careful what you say on air these days because it will be used against you in the future.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people who like me to be a servant, but I'm not subservient. I'm a kind of person that doesn't accept those kind of labels.